Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin reporting for the Offshore Gaming Association. That's OSGA.com, your number one source for information on the offshore sportsbook industry. That's OSGA.com. It's time for my segment in which I give out my NFL underdog picks. I have three of those picks. They all go on Sunday, November 4th. And folks, keep in mind, I'm recording on Wednesday, the 31st of October. So depending on when you view this video, these lines are subject to change. Let's start out with the game between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Detroit, according to BetOnline, is currently a 5-point road underdog. Now, this is a Detroit team that's 3-4 straight up on the year. They're coming off a disappointing home loss to Seattle last week, 28-14, and they just recently, it's like I said, it's Wednesday the 31st, Tuesday the 30th at the trade deadline. They traded away their top wide receiver in Golden Tate. So that's sending these Lions a message and may be inspiring in the short term because it seems management doesn't believe that this is a legitimate playoff team. Having said that, this is a Lions club that's covered in 5 of their 7 games this season, and that includes covering each of their 3 road games. On top of that, they're also a perfect 3-0 against the spread as an underdog this season. Detroit has also won their last 2 trips to Minnesota, so there's a bit of confidence there in knowing they can go into Minnesota's lush home, lush stadium, I should say, and come away with a victory. This is a Vikings team that's disappointing as we speak. 4-3-1 straight up in the first half of the season for a team that was one of the NFC favorites to get to the Super Bowl. And that was one of my picks, as a matter of fact. So they're not making me look very good right now. And when you look at their home resume, very unimpressive. 2 of their wins have came over San Francisco and Arizona, who, as we speak, are currently a combined 2-14 this season. Also, they lost as a 16-point favorite to the lowly Buffalo Bills, who currently are sitting at 2-6. And if you watch Buffalo last Monday night against New England, you have to wonder how that supposed stellar and stout defense of the Minnesota Vikings lost to an anemic offense like the Buffalo Bills. Having said that, this looks like a prime spot to take the away underdog, and that's just what I'm going to do in this particular situation. Detroit +5 over Minnesota. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to Charlotte, North Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. Currently, Tampa Bay, according to Bovada, is a 7-point road underdog. Now, this is a Carolina team that's gone 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 home games against Tampa Bay. Carolina is also coming off back-to-back straight-up upset wins at Pittsburgh, and then last week they knocked off the Baltimore Ravens as a 2.5-point home underdog. In addition, Carolina up next, they'll be taking on an AFC power in the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. And in between that, they're taking on a Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that many think is in disarray. But keep in mind, folks, this is still a Buccaneers team that's 3-4 straight up on the season. So it's not like they're horrible. And in addition to Tampa Bay last week at Cincinnati fell behind 21-0 in that game, and then they were down 34-16 going into the fourth quarter. In enters Ryan Fitzpatrick to take over for Jameis Winston, who tossed 4 interceptions before being removed, and Fitzmagic rallies his team to tie the game at 34, only to see the Bengals kick a game-winning field goal with no time left on the clock. So they could carry that momentum and that confidence-building comeback into this game at Carolina. I just think Fitzpatrick will start this game, by the way. I just think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will do enough to stay inside the number against Carolina in a game that will be much closer than a lot would expect. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus the 7 at Carolina. Finally, the Sunday night matchup, and it's a good one. The Green Bay Packers travel to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts to take on the mighty New England Patriots. New England coming off a Monday night win against the Buffalo Bills. But I must say, even though they covered as a double-digit favorite, they were very fortunate to do so. They were up 12 points in that game. Buffalo driving inside the 30-yard line of New England, and Derek Anderson throws an interception which gets returned 85 yards for a touchdown. Thus, the final score 25-6 New England. But keep in mind, folks, New England was only able to score one offensive touchdown in that game, and they had to settle for four field goals actually in that contest. So, four field goals. Let me think here. 25. Yeah, four field goals in that contest. So anyway, having said that, they're going to be taking on a very dangerous opponent in the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are coming off a disappointing 29-27 loss at Los Angeles last week against the unbeaten Rams. So they were able to stay inside the number as the Packers were a substantial 7.5-point road underdog in that game. This week, the Packers, according to the offshore sports books, namely Bovada, are a 6-point underdog at New England. Let's keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers is still one of the best quarterbacks in football, and we all know the damage he can do with the Green Bay aerial attack when he lets loose, and there's no reason why he shouldn't in this game. This is a New England defense. If they have a vulnerability, it's in their pass defense, and the Patriots have allowed opponents to pass for 287 yards or more in each of their last four games. I think Rodgers has a huge game, and I think the Green Bay Packers take this right down to the wire. I wouldn't be shocked to see an outright upset here, but I'll certainly take the points as an additional bonus. I like Green Bay plus the 6 at New England. Repeating again, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions plus 5 at Minnesota. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 7 at Carolina. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers plus 6 at New England. You can visit my website, that's rbwins.com, where you could get all the picks I personally wager on myself. You pay a little to make a lot. That's rbwins.com. Until the next time, good luck with all your picks.